the bloody conversations with Nick and Alina.
Where we have conversations with Nick and Alina.
In a British accent.
We are in part 3 of our episodes
Woohoo!
with our series with Edmund Mitchell
Pevensey of
from
Narnia.
Yes.
Nope. Edmund Mitchell from The Show with
Yay.
Edmund Mitchell.
It's great to be back here this week.
Yes,
Yep.
we are thrilled to be here.
Last week we talked about all sorts of things, and the week before that we also
Amazing.
talked
I think
about
our
others.
laundry machines are still. What is wrong with our
Our
cat right now?
cat's going crazy.
Our laundry machines are still broken. We're still wearing the same outfits.
That's
What's been going on in your lives for the last week?
I'm
a lot.
seeing the Queen of
Episode.
England.
A lot has gone on. But I think I'm confident that today will be different. I think today will be different than the last 2 episodes. I think today will be better. I think we've learned a lot. We've been putting in the reps, putting in these episode reps, and we've been figuring this out. And I think you guys are really honing in on what it is that you actually want to offer to this space, the podcast space, the Catholic. Well, the kind of like.
Actually, we are not explicitly. I mean, like we
you
have a lot of
personally-
followers.
You're not personally explicitly Catholic.
No, wait, stop.
Like you yourself are not explicitly Catholic.
You're evil. Number
You just
one.
happen. You're a person that happens to be Catholic, but you're a person
Just
first.
happened upon you.
Yeah. It's so in right now to
Neither-
be a band,
Both of
but
you.
we just happen to be Catholic as opposed to a Catholic band, right?
All I will say is,
Like you write a lot of songs about girls, like
Nope.
or like love songs
Nope.
that you could put God as the romance interest, or you could not. It's like it's up to you.
yeah,
Mumford,
that's
Mumford and
not
Sons.
that's not the
Okay.
case.
All right.
Period.
All right.
We are really glad to have you here today, Edmund.
Yeah, it's great to be here. How do you feel about Stephen Curtis Chapman?
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't heard him since I was a kid.
Okay.
I loved him when I was a kid.
Steve Angersana. I'm just going to throw out some names here.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm going to say some names about Christian bands.
and a lot of liturgy.
Give us your hot take, Christian bands, okay?
Well, you know what? This is incredible. The Holy Spirit is working through you right now because of what the question is that we're going to.
Yeah, don't go to the question. I want your
I'm
hot
not going
take.
to it, but I just want you to know.
Okay, all right.
This is all ordained.
Thank you. I don't need affirmation. I get that internally. So give me hot take, Steve Angersana.
Love the Alleluia.
Okay.
In his Mass of the
I don't
Joyful
know who
Heart.
that
Next.
is. What?
Steve Angersana.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, you heard it here first. Jesse Manabusa.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Matt Marr.
I don't know who that. I'm just kidding.
All right,
There's
here we go.
nobody that doesn't know who Matt Maher
The
is.
Silver Fox.
The Silver.
The
Oh,
Silver
is he the Silver Fox?
Yeah, he's the Silver Fox. Who else would
Does
be the
he
Silver
wish
Fox?
he was the Silver Fox?
No, what are you
No,
talking
the
about?
the
silver.
Silver
The,
Fox?
excuse me. Okay, maybe he's the Platinum Fox. Is our dear friend Molly McCartney?
She has gray hair.
No, she has platinum hair. Thank you.
The
What,
cat
really?
is trying to climb the palm tree.
Okay, next Christian band, U2.
You two? They're not Christian.
No, they actually. So
Are they Christian? They kind of are.
I don't know how to directly address their Christianity. What I can say is there's a classic
They're a band
photo of
that
him
happens to be-
with JP2.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love JP2.
Yeah, there are some religious undertones under some of the music.
Audrey Assad, the artist formerly known as.
Audrey Assad.
No, I mean Lev, the artist formerly known as Audrey Assad.
Lev, I think it's great. I think it's a great intention.
Okay, Ike Dolo.
Ikendolo, charming young lad.
Wade in the water.
I like the way he waits.
Like that. Josh
Yeah.
Blakesley.
I don't know who that is.
Not familiar with a ton of his music. Heard his name. I know a lot of people are fans. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm a horrible person.
His brother is Dave Barnes,
Don't know who that is either.
also a Catholic musician.
You know, I feel like this is just going to lead us deeper and deeper into this grave of.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
The Beatles. How do you feel about that Catholic band?
Never.
Los Beatles.
Actually, you know what I'm really excited about? The movie that's coming out where it's like an alternate. Basically, this guy is a Beatles fan. He's a Beatles fan, and he gets in some kind of an automotive accident while he's on a bike. Like he gets hit by a car or something, gets a concussion. When he wakes up, the Beatles never existed. But
This is the premise of this movie?
yes, it's
Sounds
called
like an awful
No,
movie.
no. Check this out. It's called Yesterday. I'm really excited about this
No.
movie. Yes,
Yesterday.
because he's hanging out with some friends and he plays the song Yesterday, and they're like, "Wow, when did you write that song?" And he's like, "You're kidding, right? That's from the Beatles." And they're like, "Who are the Beatles?" He goes home. He Googles them.
Who them Beatles is?
This sounds like a dumb movie.
No. It looks
It's actually
awesome.
really good. It looks
Well,
good.
we haven't seen it, but it
The
looks
whole premise of the movie is that the Beatles don't exist.
didn't. Well, they once did, and for whatever reason, after his concussion or whatever he had,
That does not sound interesting in any
it
movie.
is because he suddenly becomes literally famous because he's the world's best songwriter, and all he's doing is playing the songs that from the Beatles.
This sounds horrible. This sounds like a millennial's dream. This sounds like a sick, twisted millennial fantasy.
That may be,
Yeah.
but a good movie nonetheless. I'm sure.
Okay. How about
you know what? That's
the
not fair.
How about the next?
A good trailer.
Have you
My
seen the
cat
movie?
is trying to kill
No,
me.
I'm
okay.
saying the trailer is good.
Okay, the next Christian band, Dave Matthews Band.
That's not a Christian band.
Crash Into Me, Theology of the Body.
False.
Well,
Your body is a wonderland. Theology of the body.
John Mayer, boom, Theology of My Body.
All right, let's take a question,
Okay,
shall we?
let's-
Okay, but let's transition that into this very sensible next note here with this question.
Who is asking this question? Where are they from?
Okay, so
What do
this
they
is
do?
our litany of saints asking, who are your musical influences?
Wait, but who asked the question?
Our litany of saints.
Why is he
Litany
saying
of
that?
Saints.
That's the that's the username. The username is our litany of saints, and they want to know, probably largely for Alina and I, who are
They
our-
can ask me too.
They
though.
can't ask you. For all of us, who are our musical influences? Let's start with you, Alina.
Dave Matthews Band. You too.
Is your name Alina?
Yeah. What are your influences? Now, do you mean influences
like-
as who influences the things that you write?
Right, or who as a person am I?
Yeah.
I think who are our musical influences?
Is there anyone that is a
Not what musicians influence you. What are our influences when we're creating music?
And do any of them not exist in an alternative reality?
After a concussion.
Yeah, that has
Well,
caused
you wouldn't know that now, would you?
No, you wouldn't. Who are your musical influences? Muse?
Muse for sure, but I wouldn't write like them. Sorry. Microphone. I don't write like Muse. I don't think I do.
So
Yeah,
who are your
let's not
right,
project.
like,
let's not
stop.
project onto her. Let's let her do her
Let me
thing.
Yeah.
think.
Would you say that
Why don't we let her
Prince-
say? Why don't we let her
Would you say
say?
that Prince is
No.
really
Michael
influenced
Jackson?
you?
No.
Avril Lavigne?
No.
Janet Jackson.
No, stop. I can't think.
Now,
Kelly
No,
Clarkson.
but this is really
No,
interesting.
definitely
This is really
not.
interesting to me though because
So gross.
as a musician or a songwriter, all of those things together, the idea of musical influences seems really vague to me. Like I don't understand how to even start going about answering that question because you guys might have bands that you love listening to that don't necessarily
Right.
directly impact what you're striving for. So you might have people you like that you're trying to in some way emulate in some way.
I don't try to emulate anyone. When I write a song, I write how I know how to write, and then the song writes itself.
Yeah.
So I give the song space to kind of create itself. We have like a vision in our head, like, oh, this song would be really cool with an EDM like sound. So we might like think of, oh, what's our favorite, most recent EDM song? And we might pull from that like
Common.
certain ideas.
Common dinner conversation.
Yeah.
What's our favorite EDM song?
So we'll do that.
EDM stands for electronic dance music, everyone.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Electromagnetic pulse.
The new techno.
Nope.
Techno is dead.
Okay.
Now it's EDM,
Okay.
which makes me sad.
The Bee Gees are a great band, though, right?
Bee Gees? They're also very
They're
old.
pretty disco. Oh, techno. Sorry, you said techno. I meant disco. I was thinking disco.
No, not disco.
Continue, Alina.
Yeah, Alina, if you could please.
So anyway, the song will write itself almost. It will like tell you, well, for me anyway, it's like this chord needs to happen here. This kind of thing needs to happen. So I don't like listen to other artists. I listen to what the song is trying to convey
Yeah.
to the world.
But do you feel like there have been any musicians as you were growing up listening to
you mean
music?
like to me as a person? Sure. There's
Oh no! I
tons.
mean like when you feel like the song is telling you do A minor.
Yeah,
and
it's influenced by your predisposition, which is based on.
like Enya. I loved
Yeah.
Enya
oh
growing
man,
up.
that's funny. We had like just a few CDs ever in our car growing up, and it was Enya,
Which one?
Bee Gees' greatest hits. Enya, which one was it? The
Blue
the
Moon
most
thing?
the most important, like the most popular one, whatever the most popular one was.
Oh, probably the Orinoco Flow one.
Who can say
Okay.
whether?
Oh, that was their most second most. Their most
Yeah.
recent. I don't know.
Anyways, it was Enya, Bee Gees' greatest hits.
I didn't realize we were moving on to Edmonds.
No, I'm just saying. Interesting that you say Enya, Bee Gees' greatest hits, the 2-disc, whatever, and then the soundtrack to the John Travolta movie Phenomenon.
Yes.
I don't know
Oh my
this.
God.
That was like that were the
a great
only
movie.
CDs ever that my parents owned ever. Were like those 3 CDs. So, anyways, but do you feel like
The
though
soundtrack to Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
I mean, it's a fun movie.
it made me cry?
But the
I watched it.
soundtrack?
It made him cry.
I watched it in like 6th grade, 5th grade maybe, and for some reason I don't know. Anyways,
I mean, I wanted to have powers just as much as anybody.
it's a very romantic
I
story
didn't want
too.
to, but from cancer, I would have been willing probably.
Yeah, it's a very romantic story though. It's very touching, romantic rom-com. Wait, so
It is not.
I
but
don't
do you feel like though, like if you had to place some music that has influenced the way that you have that intuition about songs?
Coldplay.
Okay.
For sure. Coldplay.
Interesting.
Coldplay,
Okay.
I love how their chords work. And I like how his voice is. Like, I try to emulate that a little bit. Like him and Alison Krauss, if they had a baby, it would be me.
That'd be you. And
Which
your
is
name
the
would be
weirdest thing.
your name would be Apple or something like that.
Maybe.
Because his son's
Willow.
name is Apple, right?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
All right. Okay. So Coldplay influenced your music,
And yes, and Alison
Okay.
Krauss.
and you're primarily violinist and writer.
No.
Fiddle player, bro.
She,
I'm not a
she's-
violinist.
She's not.
Wait, so
any-
your D and your A string are separated a little bit?
No,
No.
bro.
Well, that's not a fiddle.
Edmund, do you know anything about
No,
music?
then it's not
All
a
right,
fiddle.
all right.
Then it's
Let
not
me
a fiddle.
clear this up for the world
You're
not a
gonna
fiddle.
tell her.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell her what
Yeah, I
fiddle
played
is?
violin for 8 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you.
She's
Let's
played
do it.
violin
Right now.
for like 28 years.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Come on.
Since I was 2.
What's a
Yep.
fiddle? What's a fiddle? Come on. Let's go.
The same thing as a violin. It's
Yeah.
just how you play it.
No. Mm-mm.
Yes. Excuse me.
Okay, Google.
There's
No,
no,
a fiddle-
difference. I'm gonna get so mad
Yeah,
right
because
now.
the fiddle is all about double stops and double
Yeah.
stops with the G and the D and the A and the E.
Which
Yeah.
have nothing to do
Yes,
with
no,
the
no,
instrument.
but a actual traditional fiddle has a separation, a bigger gap in between the D and the A.
It does not. That doesn't make sense.
Yes,
I'm
it
gonna
does.
hit you with this.
Take it to the
I'm
bank.
so
Let's do it.
mad.
Let's do it.
No.
Okay, Google, what's a fiddle?
I literally play one. Oh my god.
You think you do?
I do.
Fiddling refers to the act of playing the fiddle, and fiddlers are musicians that play it.
See?
Google said that fiddling is the act of playing the fiddle, and fiddlers are, what did it say? Referring to those
You know
who
what?
play it?
I don't know, but I just know if
I
you're
am
sitting
so
on a couch
confident
next to someone
in
and
my
you start
answers that I'm
fiddling,
not
you
even
should
gonna
probably
Google
stop it, right?
All right. All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
I come from 3 generations, maybe more.
Let's
of
move
fiddle
on.
players.
3 generations of fiddlers?
Yeah.
Wow.
it's true.
Maybe more.
You know,
Because of
to
the
us
ancestors I don't know about.
with a deep and rich Christian history of 2,000 years, that's like, oh, that's history.
Yeah. Fiddlers on the Roof.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure what the relevance is of the title of that Broadway show to its subject matter. but
Judaism.
Judaism.
What did Jews have to do with fiddling on the roof? Did
Oh.
Jews fiddle on the roof?
They're telling us next question. I think
Next
that's what they're
question.
telling-
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Wait, no. Only Alina got to share her influences. What
Yeah,
are
who's
yours?
your influence?
I don't have musical influences on how I lead my life. I don't know. I think
Bono?
I think C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia films. I think.
Oh my gosh. Great. That's awesome.
That's it.
No judgment. For
Just
me,
the soundtrack.
just the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Okay, and that
Also, the soundtrack to Interstellar. It's really great.
just very loud cluster chords on the organ.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer.
Ooh.
Zimmer.
Yeah.
So good.
I watched his masterclass, and
On cluster chords on the organ.
no, I just watched his. Like, hello, my name is Hans Zimmer. This is
This
my
is a masterclass.
Yeah. So I paid.
Yeah.
What is it? $900.
No, you didn't.
To watch every single
No.
lesson.
No, you didn't do that.
And that is my influence.
You didn't do that.
That's how I lead my life.
I don't believe you.
And I
feel like he
really
should be
like
teaching us.
I really like how with the Dark Knight, those French horns, that big giant fart into the it's just like bah, right? Like he does this big like French horns in a huge auditorium in the Dark Knight. It's like bah, like that.
I
Make
feel
that a
it.
GIF. Hey Nick, in the future. Just get me just go bah! It's like, you know what I'm talking about? You know that sound? He talks about that in his masterclass.
Yeah.
You'd know if you'd pay. to watch it.
You didn't.
What
do
are your
that.
musical influences?
My musical influences, man.
But wait. But first,
Okay.
though, define what this music is influencing. Because, like, is it
That is
influencing
an important
the way you do,
comment.
the way you try to perform, or the way you write music, or the way you're trying to sound, or like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, there might be musical influences that isn't something you're trying to emulate, but definitely has had an impact on the way you approach music, right? I feel like that's
This is
what's
such a vast question.
Well,
yes,
so
because it's so complicated.
I want to
Yeah.
touch on the complexity of it.
I touch it.
So I'm going to touch it.
Yeah.
Basically, I have found a common theme for musicians and or worship leaders, theoretically both, not always both, that we can get excited about the sound of a certain artist or worship leader and want to emulate that. And that ends up usually, I would say 9 out of 10 times, making complete garbage.
So you're talking about particularly leading praise and worship, like
Or
live.
or musicianship.
Okay.
Right. So
Wait, trying to emulate someone?
right.
Okay.
So trying to emulate someone specifically emulate the things that get you excited about that artist. So like Matt Maher, everyone knows who Matt Maher is. Matt Maher is a great singer-songwriter. He's a great musician. He's a great performer, a great worship leader. But if you try to be Matt Maher, then it's never going to work for you because you're not Matt Maher. You don't have his specific jazz training. I'm pretty sure that his degree in college was in jazz musicianship.
Yeah. Which who wants to do that?
You don't, well, okay, but it specifically is the combination of ingredients. You don't have his jazz training.
You're
You
not
don't
from
have
Canada.
his voice.
Not from Canada.
You're not from Canada.
Is he Canadian too?
Yeah. You don't have his hair.
Yep.
But then again, who does other than Bishop Daniel Thomas?
Yeah,
and
you don't
the
have his
Diocese of
bone
Toledo?
structure.
Bishop.
You don't. You don't have his bone structure. You're not Matt Maher. If you try to do things like Matt Maher, it's going to look awkward.
But do you feel like, though, because I have found that in trying to learn graphic design or in trying to learn how to, give talks or in trying to learn that there is a certain level of
Thievery.
no, but that at first, though, there is a certain level of
You learn.
Yeah.
you have taste
Yeah.
and like the
100%.
like you have this taste, and so then you're looking at a bunch of different versions
Yeah.
of trying to do that, and so you're saying, well, but I really liked how like the way he performed that resonated with me, and while I don't want to be him,
Yeah.
it gave me permission to try to do something similar to that.
Absolutely.
And try to, this person performed it this way, and
Yeah.
especially when you're first starting out.
Yep.
Trying to imitate a certain thing helps you like gain the skill of
Oh, totally.
because
Yes.
because I have learned graphic design more quickly by trying to imitate a certain specific, and like most people wouldn't notice because they're just seeing the whole thing,
Right.
But there's like, oh, the shadow on this, I'm gonna try that because I've seen someone else do shadowing
Yeah.
this way,
So to me, that is the learning process.
Yeah.
That is not the expression of your own art.
yeah.
Right. So I want to draw the comparison to like learning classical piano. It's an incredible way to learn music. And by learning the intricacies of piano in the classical form, you learn how to have the freedom to express yourself. So in a similar way, like when you're learning from things that stand out to you from Matt Maher or Chris Tomlin or Phil Wickham, who is I have a huge
Man crush.
man. Okay, I'll say it. I have
Say
a man
it.
crush on
You
Phil
heard it here
Wickham's
first.
music.
Hi, Phil.
He's what's up? But seriously, the way that he puts the way that he's a lyricist and the way that he constructs his melodies and his music in general, to me, is so beautiful and poetic. And you learn the art, you learn the craft by imitation. I mean, that's what you're doing when you're taking piano lessons. You're learning imitation. But then eventually you have to transition into self-expression.
Yeah.
And the problem is when people don't make that transition.
Yeah.
If you're always stuck in trying to copy or mimic someone else's art, then that's where it's awkward to me. You're basically a cover band. You're basically a cover artist, and it's never going to be as good as the original.
Yeah.
But when you can take what you've learned from the other people and then figure out how to express your own art, that's the ticket.
Yeah.
So like for me, I grew up always wanting to be some bizarre hybrid of Ricky Martin and Josh Groban. And it wasn't because I thought a hybrid between those.
Back off, ladies. He's mine.
It wasn't. It wasn't because I thought a hybrid between Ricky Martin and Josh Groban could work. It's because I loved Ricky
how
Martin
much Edmund is
and I
dying
loved
here.
Josh Groban. I'm just gonna take another drink here.
Are you serious? That's really?
Everybody
You're not making
loved
that up?
Ricky Martin.
I'm not making that up. That's a real
If
thing.
I had to write a joke for the roasting of Nick de la Torre, that is exactly what I would say.
You're welcome.
I'd be like, who do you think you are? A cross between Ricky Martin and Josh Groban?
There it is.
I might have said Michael Bublé,
I
but
took it
like
from you.
that is so funny.
I took it from you.
And you kind of do have the voice of a Josh Groban.
Well, here's the thing that a lot
Yeah.
of people don't know.
Have you never heard
You're
him
classically
sing Josh
trained in
Groban?
opera?
Yes.
Wow.
That was my major in college. I was a vocal performance major.
You act like no one would have guessed that, but I guessed that.
That's
Well,
how he wooed
'cause
you
I-
You know
into
me, though.
loving him.
We have a relationship.
But I'm not no one. I'm someone.
Yes, that's true. But
No, anyone who hears your voice is like,
the point is, though,
this man's trying to emulate Pavarotti.
no, the
Yeah.
point is, I am not.
Conte Partito.
Ooh, sing it, Nick. Come on. Do it.
No.
please.
We don't want that.
Do
no.
it. All
Come
the
on.
women
Okay,
are
what were you
like,
gonna say?
Do it.
The point
What
is
were you
that
gonna say?
if I were, when I was trying to be Josh Groban, it was awkward. It wasn't coming. It wasn't
not
right.
awkward. It was beautiful.
Because you're not. Well,
Because
she
I'm
says
not-
you should go back to trying to be Josh Groban, and she's your
Okay.
wife.
Let
not
me
Josh
just-
Groban specifically.
Let me just get through
You
this
just have
train
such
of thought.
a beautiful
Okay.
voice.
When I was trying to be Ricky Martin, it was awkward because
I didn't know him back then.
I'm not Ricky Martin. Nobody else is Ricky Martin. Nobody should be Ricky Martin, but he
It's-
exists nonetheless.
And it's hard to constantly wear leather pants.
It's actually not that hard.
Oh,
have you tried?
Have you
No,
tried?
'cause-
No, I haven't. I'm speculating.
sure.
Anyways,
Can you imagine Josh Groban in leather pants, like standing?
to be honest with you,
You can.
I just would be shocked if he hasn't tried.
Yeah, that's true. He's probably thought, like, what if I was me combined with Ricky Martin? That's a real niche market. When you start doing these interesting combinations, you're like, what if we combine techno with shoegaze, right? You start getting really interesting.
Wait, all right, we're getting too far ahead here.
Yeah.
The point is, God has created every person to be unique, and He has created every fingerprint to be unique. We know this scientifically. Like, we are not supposed. We're not supposed to be copies of each other.
Yes.
I cannot be Edmund Mitchell.
Yeah.
You can't be me. I'm sorry, Edmund.
I don't know if you know this, but we are not the same person. Think about that.
I did know that.
Think about that.
Yeah. Great. So, anyways,
Yes, you guys sit the same way.
Yeah. Great. So,
anyways, my point is, you, as an artist, you have
so
to...
Ricky Martin, Josh Groban, musical influences.
No.
Okay.
No.
So who are your musical influences?
But let me. So here's the context. We derailed here. The point is, actually, it's part of my conversion story. Truly, before I came to discover
Jesus.
truly, and
You
and
liked Ricky Martin.
that was more adolescence.
Okay.
But I did like Josh Groban, and
Okay.
I was a vocal performer. I wanted to be at the
So
Met
you were classically trained in opera at what age?
in college and high school.
Okay. What opera college did you attend?
Bowling. Well, I mean, is opera college like? It's like
sorry. What
it's like-
was that?
it's
What was that? What was that like?
opera college. Like,
what was
I didn't go to Italy.
I don't know. I don't know these things.
Anyways, I was studying vocal performance at Bowling Green State University.
All right.
Okay. I did not know who I was in the eyes of God. I didn't know who I was, period. I thought I had to be some version of success that I had seen in Josh Groban.
Yeah.
I thought I had to be some version that I had of success that I had seen in
But I think it's a natural. I mean, that's like a natural
yeah,
thing.
but
I
it's
mean,
wrong.
Yeah.
It's natural, but it's wrong.
Okay.
Why are you laughing about
keep
that?
Going. I don't know. Keep going. Keep going.
We should take inspiration from others. What is funny to you?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time. Okay. Sorry, keep going.
We should. I don't even know why I'm laughing at this point. We should take inspiration from others, but we should not try to mimic our lives around the perceived success of others.
Yeah.
God has a unique call for everyone.
Yeah.
He has a unique image. There's a unique part of God that he has chosen to reveal about himself. What are you laughing about?
Should I hit him?
I don't know.
Maybe.
For some reason, the way you're talking about this, it's just really funny. Sorry. Keep going. Sorry, keep going. I don't know. I think it's because I keep thinking of, like, you're talking very seriously, but I keep thinking of just
Ricky Martin
and Josh Groban. And so, like, the context of everything, like,
I
you're
think
trying
they'd
to
be really good friends.
you're trying to like bring the word, but I just keep thinking of Ricky Martin and Josh Groban, and it's
I can't believe
it's
you.
like hilarious. It's like not serious at all.
In all fairness
like
to
the
you,
least serious like names of people that you could say right now is Ricky Martin and Josh Groban. God has a unique plan for your life, and then I just keep thinking of Ricky Martin in leather pants and like Josh Groban singing opera, and you're like, anyway, so keep going. It's
in
a
fairness
beautiful
to
thing
you,
you're saying.
when I bring that story up, it specifically is for comedic relief. So, like, you're a victim of what I've done to you.
That's often, yeah, I often am. You're right. Okay, so your musical influences are who?
No, wait,
Who?
rewind.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. The point,
I know. Get there. Let's get there.
We need to understand. You were kind of getting at this question of like, what does it mean to be influenced by a musician?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to draw this distinction between getting excited by music.
Yeah.
Right, so like a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm a major metal head. I love
Fleetwood Mac.
Nope. I love hard rock. I really do. And like in high school, I was in hard rock bands. Just immediately after high school, I was in hard rock bands.
Yeah.
Like I love that music. I love the emotion and the passion that is expressed through it. But that doesn't mean that like I'm supposed to be a rocker.
Yeah, like would you say that music influences the way that you write and perform?
I would say that it influences my willingness to express
your emotions.
That level of emotion.
Yeah. That's
because I think that we are kind of conditioned to restrain our expression of emotion.
Only if you're Catholic.
So
if you're Protestant, then we're
but
free to let it go.
False.
No. But I do. I resonate with that a little bit. Like with the idea. I feel like often there are two types of people. I hate saying it like that, but I feel like there are like two types of people.
Let's put them in a box.
Yeah, there are people that I have always found it easy to see something that is very different than me or very different than something I believe and look for something in it that I can learn from it. And I've just always been able to do that. I've always been able to even if I'm watching some person talk about something that I disagree with completely, I'm able to, like, I just have more tolerance to sit through and wait for the thing that I can learn from it. Whereas other people can't do that. They're like, no, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or this guy's talking about this thing I disagree with, or whatever.
In the Myers-Briggs world, that would be because you were a perceiver and not a judger.
Okay, yeah. So like I'm always
P or J.
Yeah, I could listen to whatever. Like I could listen to a socialist or a openly homosexual man, or like I could like and try to look for it, as long as that person's being sincere. Then I'm cool. Like I can listen to it and filter the things that I don't agree with, but also look for if someone's earnest, then I can learn something from it.
Sure.
And I like that you were saying that you kind of like extrapolated up to a higher level than just like, oh, what you learned from it is like you should have like double bass drum kind of stuff going on. But what you've extrapolated, like abstracted up to is uninhibited expression of emotion.
Yeah.
And so it's giving you this freedom to then transfer that into
Yes.
your opera music.
Well, no, I do not presently
No, I know.
produce or create opera music.
But what
But
you're
you do great at it.
Yeah. So,
my gosh.
but I do think that was the first thing I thought
Sing
of.
something opera.
Stop! I'm not going to.
Do it.
That was the first thing I thought of when I thought of musical influences. Don't often translate directly into like Bob Marley influences me, so now I'm in a reggae band, right? It's like,
but for so many people, it is that simple. And I just feel like, great. I mean, some people thrive on specifically copying music that gets them excited.
Yeah.
For me, art. If you ask a painter, like, I think that music is unique as far as art forms go, in that it's the only area that it's somehow applauded to mimic other artists if you're like a cover musician or something, and it's like, oh, that's still art. Like if I was copying Picasso, people would be like, you're not original. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's been done.
Well, you
Yeah.
can
Do
copy
your
his
thing.
style.
Express yourself. No, in like if I was a painter, I wouldn't hear you can copy the style. No, every painter's it kind of.
Like most abstract art is doing. They learned from the father and then moved on, and everyone's like.
well, I think he's talking about like a
versions of
direct
it.
replica would be.
Yeah,
Direct
I'm
replica,
saying
yeah,
that
okay, I
that
see what you're
in
saying.
music, uniquely as far as art forms go, there's this acceptability of just directly copying other people's art, whereas in any other art form, it seems like there's this expectation that you express yourself.
But I think the reason is because there's a certain level of performance. Like even if you're copying it, it's a unique like moment of that performance,
Maybe.
right? So like all of us could go around the room and sing a Josh Groban song, and I'm going to applaud your rendition of it because it's a unique performance.
If it was
of-
unique,
yeah.
if I was expressing myself through it,
yeah,
but that's still self-expression,
yeah.
right?
But you're still copying your or whatever. Like
yeah,
you're
but
still,
nobody's. If anybody were to directly try to replicate Van Gogh's stuff, I feel like they'd get criticized.
Yeah, but then you also have
But it takes
what was
a lot of talent to directly
They'd get applauded for the accuracy of
yes,
it.
exactly. Like the Oscars, right? What's his name?
But at
won
the same time, they'd get criticized for like, can't you be your own artist?
Well, no, but I think it's just a different thing, right? Like, what's the guy that won the Oscar for the movie about Queen? We will.
Oh, yeah.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, yeah. He played Freddie, right? And like his
Whatever his name was.
his portrayal
Look it
of
up.
Freddie Mercury was. Like you're saying, you can applaud that because there's
but
something
that was
about
the role. The
Yeah.
role was to imitate the man.
Yeah,
Like,
but the role
like,
of the
if
cover
your
band is
role
to
is to be a
imitate the
cover
cover
band,
band, right? Like,
I was in a
guess.
cover band, and it took a lot of work to replicate.
yeah. But I
It
get
was
what you're saying.
fun.
But I get what you're saying though about there is just something inherently different about pure mimicry.
Yes.
Like there's a certain level of okay, that's
It's less about creation
Yeah.
and more about imitating.
yeah. It's like that was a very accurate mimicking.
You're not
of-
revealing your soul through it. You're reminding people.
Well, that's not true.
You don't think so?
Because
yeah.
certain songs just like there was a certain country song, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but gosh, what was it? But she was talking about a home, and I was copying, it was Miranda Lambert, I think, and I was singing this song, and I like almost started crying every time I sang this song because it moved my soul, and I wanted it to move the audience's soul, and it was just like this collaboration, and I was trying to sound like her to do the song justice, but it was also my own voice, so I couldn't like deny that. So it was just a really cool thing. So.
Yeah, and I do think. I mean, I'm in no way a professional actor, but I do think the best way to try to inhabit something in what tiny bit of acting or performing I've ever done, I do think like there's a certain level of trying to make some connection with that person or character to something that is inside of you. Like what is this? What is the commonality? What is like the common element between me and Freddie Mercury? What is
Rami
this common-
Malek was the guy.
Oh yeah, Rami Malek, the first Egyptian I think to win a
Correct.
male
Audrey
Oscar.
Assad was very excited.
Yeah, is she Egyptian or Syrian or
Syrian.
I don't know the difference. I'm not
Somewhere
woke enough.
over there.
I'm not woke enough.
None of us are woke enough.
Yeah.
I'm Cuban.
Aren't you
I'm
Puerto
British.
Rican?
Nope.
I've been to Puerto Rico, the motherland.
The mother.
Super. Anyways, I think that.
So what are your musical influences?
My influence, the influences that specifically influence the way that I create music.
Yeah, your musical influences.
I would say a significant one in
Loud harp.
Yeah, I would say that
What?
loud harp
Loud.
influences heavily the degree of authenticity and simplicity of prayer through music. So I think that when I'm overcomplicating a song that I'm writing that is meant to worship, meant to point to God, when I'm overcomplicating it, I'm brought back to loud harp, reminding me, just express your heart in this prayer. And it doesn't have to be complex. Simple words express our hearts many times.
Yeah.
So loud harp directly influences me in that way. As well as I love about them the willingness to hold you in the silence. Like there's so many moments between the words in their music. And I think that music today is like so ADD and catering to our ADD. And I love that loud harp is like, no, let's just be in this moment between the words. And I'm not saying that I am influenced by that well enough. I think that I am convicted by that, and I want to bring more of that into my music.
More space.
Yeah.
Space in your music.
Yeah. Another big one, I think, just sonically would be Hillsong, because their large, like big band and electronica influence in their music, as well as like some secular bands like Sugar Rose. A lot of that stuff is just speaking to people today. I mean, it's really kind of... Well, a lot of people don't know this. Sugar Rose is a band that is not Christian, that essentially created what Christian music is today. Hillsong, a lot of people would think set the stage for like the current vibe of worship music.
Where's Sugar Rose from?
Sugar Rose is...
Rose?
I think that they're Sugar Rose. Like it's spelled Sigor.
S-I?
Yeah. It's like I think it's
Sugar?
I think it's Icelandic
Oh, okay.
or something like that.
Okay.
There's a cat hanging out.
There's a cat.
There's a cat shadow on the wall there. Anyways, Sugar Rose really paved the way for the style of music that we've seen in Christian worship for the last like decade.
So if we listened to it, it would sound like a Hillsong song?
There are aspects of Sugar Rose you would hear that would be like, whoa, that's where that came from. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're just a band that happens to be Christian?
No, they're not Christian.
Okay.
They're strictly secular. I mean, they're just an alternative rock band that created a vibe that we've imitated in our Christian
They're
music.
from Iceland.
I think so.
Okay.
Anyways,
So Sugar Rose.
Hillsong, loud harp, and yeah, I'm going to stop there.
That's good.
I think there are more, but like that's
Dave
yeah.
Brubeck.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't even know who that is.
This cat is cracking me up.
All right, so
BB King.
I feel like that
was a fantastic episode.
was a good conversation that I did not anticipate so much would roll out from a simple question of what are your
Right?
musical influence. I thought that was going to be like
Huzzah.
a 5-minute moment.
That's the beauty of these
before
podcasts.
we hit the next
That's the
question.
beauty of these podcasts is every week you're going to get these microphones on and good stuff is going to come out and people want to hear that. They want to
they,
hear
though?
that content. Yeah.
You know what? If you enjoyed this for whatever reason, and if you want to support the continuation of this type of stuff, visit patron.nickandalina.com or just nickandalina.com.
Can you spell patron? Because everyone's going to type in Patreon because that's what they know.
It's not Patreon. Let me be very specific. It is not Patreon. I no longer support Patreon.
But people are going to think that because you're from Puerto Rico, you don't know how to pronounce
I'm
Patreon. So they're going to think, oh, I'm going to type in
See, here's the
Patreon.
real problem. People are going to think you're racist because you keep thinking I'm from Puerto
How does
Rico.
that mean they're racist?
Just because I'm Latino, I'm from Puerto Rico?
I thought that was where you're from.
No.
That was a very kind mistake of mine to make. It's a very kind mistake.
Were you kind?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you have against
Anyways,
people from Puerto Rico?
Where
nothing.
are you from?
I mean, I'm a Cuban, so like,
Cuban.
I'm Cuban. I'm not Puerto Rican.
Weird.
Anyways, so If you are into what's happening here or want to check out some of the music that Alina and I make, then check out nickandalina.com. And we have some other episodes up at this point. We got more coming for you. We'll see you next week.
Patreon.com/Nick and Alina.
False. None of that is true.
Use the offer code It's Your Show to get 10% off at checkout.
Yeah, that's not a thing. All right. Have a good night.
Bye.
Or day.
Bye.
Or whatever time it is.
Love you, Mom.